Yeah, so let's do it. Hopefully hopefully you can see me. I mean, sorry if you can see me. Um, so, uh, yeah, like Dave said, my name's Nick. I'm a tech at MACDAC. This is my second virtual rollout. So the first one was a few weeks ago. Seemed to go pretty good, so hopefully this one goes a little just as well. Um, we're going to go over what's new in the milling side of things. If you want to, Dave's doing general enhancements. His was Dave. Pretty sure Dave, you had one this morning. Um, and then Bruce and Eric both have um, rollouts that they're doing as well. Those should be on the website scheduled. So we broke these out into separate sections because I don't think anyone wants to sit through like a 2 hour rollout webinar. So we wanted to make sure if someone wanted to see a particular section, say milling, and not necessarily turning or vice versa, we can make it pretty straightforward and to the point. Um, let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, cool. Um, So Mastercam 2021 was released last week, and it's available for you to download right now as long as you have a current maintenance contract. That download's only about a gig and a half, so it's really not that bad. If you need it, email support at MACDAC. I can send you the link and get you downloaded. And we also have a video on YouTube showing you how to migrate your post processors. So if you need that stuff, just let us know. So if you've come to any rollouts before, obviously this is different. This is web based. We normally do them at breweries across New England. Last year and the year before. So hopefully next year we'll be back. We'll be back doing that. So hopefully you guys are enjoying a beer while we do this. I won't tell anyone. I don't have any beer, not yet. Um, so general enhancements. A couple things about me in case you don't know me. Like I said, I've been here at MACDAC about 3 years, a little over 3.5 years, I think, at this point. I was a machinist before coming to MACDAC, ran mostly lathes, mill turn machines, things like that. Recently engaged. I'm into cars, race cars, stuff like that. I found this picture online, pretty accurate to how my fiance feels about when I talk about my broken BMW. So general mill enhancements, we're going to jump right into it. So first off, let me just move my screen around here. The Toolpath hole definition function panel includes two enhancements now. On the selection tab, a summary of all edited change at point parameters are now conveniently displayed on a tooltip in the features list. So that's the picture to our left. The advanced tab now features or now allows the option for multiple solid bodies. This option recognizes same size holes across multiple bodies when selecting with a control click. So basically, if you have two solid bodies, you can find all matching hole sizes across both just at once. So just a minor enhancement that you probably didn't even know you needed. So that's a pretty common theme throughout our minor enhancements that add up to a better product and allow you to program, quicker, more efficiently. Check tool reach. So I have a quick video I'm going to show on this. Basically, we use check tool reach to check the tool and the holder against your selected model geometry to view where the tool can and can't reach. It's right next to check holder on the top Toolpath tab. And here's a quick video of it in action. So we're going to click it. So here we're going to select the model that we're checking against, our target. Our tool, we're going to select from our tool library. So I'm just going to select that end mill. And then we can change the color of what we want to see as a result. So I'll say green is reachable. Hit the preview. Now everything green is reachable with that tool and holder setup that we have, that assembly. Now, if I want to quickly change between the cutting diameter, I can right at the top there. So a nice little feature, especially if you already use check holder. This is just another tool in your toolbox. So 2D mill enhancements. I broke this up into 2D and 3D. So 2D mill enhancements. First one we're going to go over is skip pockets based on tool diameter or pocket size. So we've had this in some of the multi-axis Toolpaths, but now available in 2D dynamic mill and also 3D dynamic OptiRough. There's a new option to skip all pockets, as well as skip pockets smaller than a percentage of your diameter of tool. So basically what that means is after I toolpath a roughing operation, my tool diameter percentage, if I set that to 0, the resulting toolpath will be pretty complete. As I move up tool diameter percentage up to say 300 or 350, it's going to start cutting out pockets that the tool wouldn't fit. So if you, it's nice because you could chain your entire part, but if you know you only want to hit the smaller sections of the part, you can just use this to control it. You don't have to kind of make multiple selections throughout the part. Advanced drill. So multi-segment drill cycles. Advanced drill is a new toolpath, separate from just regular the hole making drill toolpath. Advanced drill is useful for spot drilling, deep hole drilling, and back spot facing. Each segment of the drill cycle can be defined in a table on the toolpath cut parameters. So this is my next screen will show what that looks like. So basically, we can define individual pecs within the segment, including retracts to simulate a chip break cycle. We can set a feed rate or choose a rapid motion. We can change the spindle speed and the direction. We can turn coolant on and off, add manual entry codes, or change the tool axis control, all within the same, basically the same path. So basically, each depth that I'm going to cut to can have individual parameters. So if I cut to, in this case, 350 thou, then my feed is at 5, spindle direction, RPM, coolant, and a dwell. So each segment can be modified. Chamfer drill toolpath. This is another new toolpath. Using any tool with a tip angle, this new toolpath will calculate the correct depth based on the chamfer depth or width. It also lets you select different diameters, different, chamfer diameters or holes that lie on different planes and machine them in a single operation. Easier to show you here in this video. You don't have to make the chamfer on the hole. I just did it for the sake of the video. I'm going to make 2 different size chamfers. So the first one I made 30 thou. I think this one 15. Then we're going to come in here and select under hole making our chamfer drill. Now I'm selecting the part, the 2 holes, selecting the chamfer mill. I'm going to leave that at 0 because my I selected the bottom of the hole already. Now when we backplot, that's going to hit the chamfer perfectly. And then that's going to hit the other chamfer. Even though they're 2 different sizes, the toolpath is smart enough to know what you're trying to do. And we'll post it. Just to show the different Z depths. So we're going to feed to the first Z depth of 2.75 2.584, and then the second one 2.77. 7734. So yeah, that was all in one toolpath. Gets both holes done. Oh, that's the same video. All right. Pre-machining corners for dynamic mill toolpaths. So I'm sure you've seen this before, where when you run a dynamic mill to say rough out an entire large area from maybe a piece of stock, what gets left behind a lot of the times is the corners. So what they did is they added a pre-machining operation to come in and rough out those corner pieces first before it starts doing your normal dynamic mill roughing. So it's just a nice feature when you're going back, and you don't have to go back and clean anything up. Swapping lead in and lead out parameters. This is another nice little kind of ease of life, make things easier for you type switches that if you started using the software today, you just expect that to have been there the whole time. We can actually switch our lead in and lead out options between the two, between entry and exit. For instance, if entry is set 50% and exit is set 100%, and now I just want to swap them vice versa, I can just hit that that swap button right under copy over. So next up, arc fit linking and feed move override. So this one's pretty cool. I haven't seen it run on a machine yet. I'm confident it does, but I'd like to see it because it looks like a pretty cool option. So basically, what we can do is arc fit maximum radius option itself attempts to fit 90-degree arc moves into rapid and clearance moves. The output feed move option outputs the rapid move as a feed move. So basically what that's saying is, let's see if I can point to it here. So on both options off, meaning we're just going to retract normally, retract to almost a 90-degree on the retract move over to our next cut. Now with both these options on, what we're doing is we're feeding over to the next cut, but we're swinging an arc and then feeding over, and then that feed move can be whatever you want. So if your machine needs that feed move to be lower, or I guess that reposition move to have a lower feed rate, you have the option in the toolpath as well. So like I said on that last one, I haven't seen it run yet. If anyone uses it and wants to send me a video so I can put it in this presentation, I'd really appreciate that. So next up is locking parameters for thread mill toolpaths. I've had a few calls on this in the past, and this is something now they've added, is we can lock our number of active teeth and our thread pitch inside thread mill. Basically, what we do that is so that Mastercam won't try to auto recalculate anything based on our tool settings. So now we can go back and change our any feed rates or anything like that, and not have to worry about the thread pitch or number of active teeth changing on us. So 3D mill enhancements. So a big thing we're going to touch on here is the 3D blend toolpath. Last year, they took it from a legacy toolpath and kind of brought it over to the newer style, added check surfaces, things like that. So this year, they've done even more. So first thing they've done, equidistant passes. What this means is that we have the option to add equidistant, sorry, lost my train of thought. Mastercam will create the passes equidistance in 3D, adding cuts in steep areas. We're also able to set number of cutting passes instead of step over or scallop height, meaning if I want 10 passes, instead of just telling Mastercam every 50 thou to make a pass, I can just enter 10, and it'll cut 10 equal passes along the two, in between the two pieces of chain geometry. The equidistant passes that I mentioned first, basically what that's saying is it's going to add passes for you in steep areas where the tool used to kind of fall off a bit, and those passes ended up being a larger step over than the rest of the part. Now, Blend will actually fill in that gap for you, and everything stays to like a true step over size. So the 3D Blend Toolpath also has the option to confine your curves to a tooltip or a contact point. So tooltip confines the tool center inside the selected curves, whereas the contact point will let the tool go outside the two curves that you selected for blend, but the tooltip will always hit the drive surface. So 3D Blend, like I said, I have a lot here on the Blend toolpath. We have the option to machine from center and to center. Some of our other toolpaths have this. Now they've incorporated it into Blend. Pretty self-explanatory here. To center, we're going to cut from the outside to the center. From center, we start in the center, move our way out. So enhancing leads and transition functionality. This is not just in the Blend toolpath. This is actually in most of the high-speed toolpaths. What we can do is we can now add an extension. The parameter has been added in the linking parameters of surface high-speed toolpaths. Adding an extension value will extend the lead motion by the entered amount. So basically, we're adding a tangential line as a lead-in. We had this option in say like some of the older flowline toolpaths. There's a tangential line length, which we used a lot. Now we're using those in the high-speed toolpaths, which is nice because that was a helpful tool. Now we can also apply transitions. It sets a retract motion to be transition motion. The new motion uses the values set on the transitions page. So basically in the linking parameters, you have a transitions value on the left here. Deselected apply transitions is deselected, so your transitions are just going to look like this. With it selected, we're going to have these, it's not going to be a full retract, it's just going to come up and transition to the next cut, feed itself back in. So mill tool enhancements, auto naming tool improvements. This one, I tried looking for it and finding a good example of where they've improved here, but I couldn't find the specific spot. But basically what they're saying here is all inch unit default tools now have the same format. So if it's a half-inch ball end mill, and then a dash, I have a bad example, half-inch bull style end mill with a 15 thou radius, that format that is listed right there, now they're going to copy that same format with other tools. So I think that just moving forward, they just wanted to standardize that. Now, also editing drills now updates their name. So if you edit a drill size, it will update the drill name. If you're just using a 1/4 inch tool and you change it to a 1/2 inch tool, the name will change as well. Improved barrel form tool definition. So now we're defining a barrel form tool the same way as a taper form tool. So from the tip flat radius instead of the cutting length. So new to 2021, a couple honorable mentions that I just want to touch on. Engraving. The toolpath has been improved to address some tool motion issues that we used to run into. Basically, you set the engraving up the same way. The motion just looks a lot cleaner. Again, I haven't tried it on the machine to know if I've gotten any better results, but the algorithm that goes into making the toolpath and the motion is different, and we think it's going to work out a lot better. the raster toolpath now have the option to have Mastercam automatically set different angles to maximize length of cut. So basically, when you're setting your cutting angle on a raster, we should just let Mastercam decide, and it's going to figure out the best way, the best angle to cut. Editing UV directions. So this is in actually Dave's section. Dave probably went over this morning, but I really like this new feature because surface flowline toolpaths are no longer restricted to original UV direction of the part. Now, when I'm working with people, we use the flowline toolpath all the time. People really like it. If you're just cutting a radius on a part, or you just have a big surface, you just want to quickly make a toolpath, it works great. And I always tell people, if you can't get it working in the first 5 minutes, just ditch the flowline toolpath, because if those UV directions don't line up between your multiple surfaces, we never had a way to fix that. Now we do. We can actually edit, a gang of surfaces to all have the same UV direction. Now surface flowline works perfect on all the surfaces that we have selected, and now it becomes probably the most easy to use toolpath that we have, far and away. So that's really cool. That's going to help people out a lot. That's going to help me out a lot. And last but not least, area roughing. Area roughing has been improved. The algorithm on how it calculates the toolpath. Last week, somebody asked me exactly how they improved it, and the best I can do for you is just say the algorithm got improved. So not too much more information there, but it got worked on. Upcoming rollouts. Leave it to me to not update this from the last one, but you could check our site. Dave, do you know when the next rollouts are?
Actually, it's going to be next week. And the actual day is going to be the 25th. At 10 o'clock, we have turning enhancements, and at 2 o'clock is multi-axis.
Cool. Yeah.
If any of you guys want the links, just shoot me an email, and I'll send you the links. I'll probably send out a reminder email on Monday or Tuesday of next week also. Cool. So you'll get those. If you get my email blast, you'll get the rollout. Yeah, I'm the guy who makes all those email blasts you guys get. So
it's your fault.
My fault. I am spamming you. Anyone have any questions before we call it a afternoon? Well, you guys can call it an afternoon. I got to go back to work, but
me too.
Yeah. I had somebody call me while we were on the phone here, so.
Yeah, I had a couple missed calls, but they're just gonna have to wait.
Yeah, we're very responsive to our support unless we happen to be doing something like this.
Yeah. Yep. Today's actually been pretty crazy on the support end. So, and I think Eric had the rest of the day off. So, I actually had to throw my auto response up in case people were emailing me during this. But
if what I got to do frees up, I'll let you know, and you can send support calls my way.
Okay. Yeah, it should probably be good. But
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if there's not any questions, and like always, support at MACDAC, it should be on the top of my screen up here. Up there. Support at MACDAC.
I'm pointing at your screen as if you can see me, by the way, Nick.
Yeah, everything's backwards.
Not there. Yeah.
Support at MACDAC if you guys need anything.
The other one's sales.
And yeah, so hope everyone's doing well. Hopefully we can do some real life stuff coming up soon. I think we're switching over to phase 2 yesterday, right? So we'll be doing these virtually for the time being, and until we can all meet up again. Yeah, we'll see you then.
All right, everybody have a great day. Last call for questions. All right, hey, everybody have a great day. Again, I recorded this. We'll try to get it up on YouTube for everybody. And have a great day, everyone.
Take it easy, everyone. Bye.